While Crotor seized the Western throne in Zeonica, the alliance that carried him to power was already moving against Rhagaea. Husn Fulq remained in southern hands. Its defenders were dead, with a handful of survivors chained beneath the keep, and imperial banners now flew above the Aserai walls. Rhagaea believed the prisoners might explain why Unqid and Monchug had joined Crotor at the Scarlet Hills. She also wanted the name of the man who sent an assassin into Garios's throne room. Before her patience broke, another army reached the city. The Horselords had returned for Husn Fulq. Rhagaea had conquered Husn Fulq in fury. Now she needed the city to give her something useful. The surviving prisoners were locked in cells beneath the keep. Some watched her approach through the bars. Others kept their eyes fixed upon the stone floor. They had survived the assault, only to face the Empress, whose soldiers had taken everything from them.
Why did Unqid join Crotor?
The oldest prisoner shook his head.
We were ordered to defend the city. We were told nothing of Crotor.
And the Khuzaits?
The answer remained the same. Rhagaea stepped closer.
Who sent the assassin into Garios's throne room?
Fear passed between the captives. One finally insisted they knew nothing. Rhagaea searched his face for the hesitation of a liar and found only confusion. These men had carried spears, guarded gates, and watched their city burn. Whatever alliance had been forged above them had never included their council. Her frustration sharpened. Before she could press them again, the dungeon door opened.
My Empress, you need to see this.
By the time Rhagaea reached the battlements, Husn Fulq had been surrounded. Aserai cavalry stretched across the desert in one direction, their yellow banners moving above ranks of armored horses. Khuzait riders held the opposite ground, beneath fields of green. Together, they formed a living ring around the city, close enough to seal every road and distant enough to deny the defenders an easy target. The soldiers on the walls waited for Rhagaea's command.
What do we do?
Fire.
The city's catapults released together. Great stones crossed the sky and crashed into the sand before the Horselord lines. A second volley followed and landed just as short. The enemy didn't move. Rhagaea understood the design immediately. Unqid and Monchug had measured the distance well. Their riders could close any path the Imperials attempted to use, yet the city's engines could not reach them without being dragged beyond the walls. The Horselords had turned Husn Fulq into a prison without raising a ladder. Now they only had to wait until hunger left Rhagaea's soldiers too weak to defend the breach. Outside Husn Fulq, Unqid watched the wasted stones strike the desert. The city had belonged to him only days earlier. Its walls, wells, storehouses, and roads had guarded the Aserai frontier for generations. Rhagaea's banners now hung above them, and every hour she remained inside made the conquest harder to undo. Even with superior numbers, Unqid would not order an assault. His advantage would disappear in narrow streets, where horses could not maneuver, and Imperial legionaries could lock shields across every passage. Rhagaea's soldiers had already proven what they could do once battle reached the courtyard. Patience would preserve his army and tighten the pressure around hers. Crotor had promised that the balance of power would soon change. By now, the rebels should have reached Zeonica and forced the Western Empire to kneel. Once word arrived, they could decide what would be done with Rhagaea. Until then, Unqid would keep every road closed. He was prepared to wait. Monchug was not. Monchug crossed the Aserai lines with anger already visible in his face. He reined in sharply beside Unqid, the bow still clenched in his hands.
What are we doing here?
We have the Empress trapped.
Then why is she still alive?
Because throwing cavalry into those streets would be slaughter. We hold the roads, deny her supplies, and wait.
For what?
Crotor's word.
Monchug's expression hardened.
We crossed half of Calradia to stand outside a city until an Imperial rebel tells us when to move.
Crotor understands the greater plan.
You think that makes you his partner? It makes you his puppet.
The Aserai riders around them shifted uneasily.
Brother, choose your words carefully.
Every victory serves Crotor's ambition, and every delay comes at his command. You gave him your army, then called it an alliance so you would not have to admit what you had become.
Unqid tightened his grip on the reins. Monchug turned his horse.
My people will not wait outside these walls for his permission.
Monchug raised one arm, and the green banners began to move. Khuzait riders withdrew from the eastern road in disciplined columns, turning their horses north while the Aserai watched them leave. Within moments, the ring around Husenfolk had opened, and Unqid's force had lost half its strength without a weapon being drawn. The movement was visible from the battlements. An Imperial officer approached Rhagaea. What are they doing? She watched the Khuzaits disappear across the desert.
One of them has finally remembered he is a king.
The officer glanced toward the remaining Aserai. Should we attack? Rhagaea studied the gap Monchug had left behind. A reckless sortie might break the encirclement, but it could also surrender the walls to Unqid's cavalry.
Keep every gate closed and every soldier ready.
She looked toward the yellow banners.
Unqid came here believing he had trapped us. Let him spend the night wondering whether he can hold this city alone.
The Horselords had arrived as the most powerful army in the south. By sunset, their alliance was coming apart beneath the walls of Husenfolk. As Husenfolk settled into an uneasy siege, 3 Nord riders followed the western coast toward Rovalt. They carried the warning Halfdar had entrusted to them before leaving Calradia. King Dirthert had met secretly with Ragnvard, and High King Caladog still knew nothing of the bargain made between his enemies. Rovalt had once belonged to Vlandia. It now flew the banners of Battania, and Caladog's army remained within reach of its walls. The riders pushed their horses harder. They could not know how the Battanian king would answer the truth, or how many men would die once he did. Their duty was simply to place the warning in his hands. Behind them, the Blood Pact had collapsed. Ahead of them, the road to Rovalt carried the first spark of another war.